Hi guys, good evening. Welcome in. I am going to give it a moment here for people to come in. Since I just hit the live button, let's give it just a few minutes here. How are we doing? This is going to be kind of a rough one, you guys. Lots of trigger warnings for the photos and sketches that I will be showing and the details of what's happened. So fair warning, trigger warning for the whole thing, basically, So let's give it just a couple of minutes here for people to roll in. And I'm going to say hi to people. Just a second. All right. Are we ready? I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good to see you guys. Welcome in. I want to say hi to everybody real quick. All right. Hi, Slipper Sloth. Hello, Justice Jane. How are you doing? Hi, Laughing Stock. Hey, Glenna. Welcome, Corey. Hello, Fix Logic. Hi, Kelly P. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't wait too long. Got a lot to show you guys, and I know this case, the capture of this guy happened way back in 2005, but the authorities have given a brand new look at everything, and they're finding new victims of this guy, thanks to his sketches. the guy likes to drop. And I want to put up a trigger warning again for everybody. Hello, Divine Wisdom. How are you doing? Thanks for being here, everybody. All right, so let me get my screen shared and we'll get right on it. I know most of my stuff is on Idaho 4. I try to cover a variety. I do want to show you guys something real quick. Let's see. Time. We'll just do it this way. This will be easy for me. I'll just share the whole thing. Okay, there we go. All right, so I want to share this update really quick on the Murdaugh case. I did cover that from top to bottom. Anjanette Levy just tweeted today that Alex Murdaugh's lawyers, Lawyer Griffin and Hart Pullian, will hold a press conference this coming Tuesday, which is the day after tomorrow, to discuss a motion for a new trial based on newly discovered evidence. Interested to see what they have unearthed. So just a quick update there. I'll be keeping an eye on that, and we'll see what kind of new evidence they have. I can't imagine that they could have anything, that could set him free, but that's pretty crazy. Okay, let me get my file up here. Where did it go? Have it right here and this one. Okay. So bear with me while I get this over here like this. Whenever I do a live, I get prepared with everything ahead of time so I can just kind of go off of my little script with all the photos. Again, trigger warning, y'all. This is not going to be pretty. Children definitely should not see these photos. So this stream is completely unmonetized and set for adults. Alrighty? I don't want to upset anybody. Hey, Crime Curious. Welcome. Well, lurk mode means you don't say hi. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I love your channel. OCD Shaggy, hi. How are you doing? Yes, oh snap. Yes, please. Please hit the like button if you guys haven't done that yet. I appreciate you. Help me get up in that algorithm, okay? All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and leave these up right here. And then we'll just go through them as I am reading. Hang on. Work with me. Right. Like that. Okay. Root Trackers, hi. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. Hey, Tommy Jude. How are you doing? Welcome. Your mind is still set. Well, you're going to have to come back, buddy. Yeah, I have not even been into this case either, but even his daughter has gotten involved in helping with investigate what's going on. And just today, there was another update. So I never really followed this case, although it happened. Some of the victims, some of the what they call possible victims are right down the road from me. You guys ever heard of the Girl Scout murders? The 3 little girls who were on camp out with their troop. Yeah, they suspect that he was also involved in that. So these happened between Oklahoma and Kansas. I'm in Oklahoma. So yes, it is, absolutely. So yeah, make sure when you come in, even if you don't want to chat, that's cool. Just hit the like button for me. Okay, so where'd my file go? Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to give just a quick recap on the case. All right, you guys know by now that I do everything just as briefly as I can. Hello, Sweet Misery. So just a quick recap on the case. This is on the BTK killer, Dennis Rader. He terrorized the city of Wichita, Kansas, and Northeast Oklahoma for 3 decades, from 1974 to 1991. He committed a series of heinous crimes, leaving all these communities in fear and law enforcement baffled. His moniker BTK stood for Bind, Torture, Kill, which accurately described his sadistic methods. So let's see here. Going back a little further, because it does go along with this. He was born in 1945 in Pittsburgh, Kansas. He was raised in a very strict, very religious family. He was the oldest of 4 children and was expected to behave in such, like a certain manner. His father was a very authoritarian figure, and his mother was very passive, often allowing her husband to make decisions for the family. This dynamic would shape Dennis's life in 2 ways. It taught him how to be a good listener, and it instilled in him a deep-rooted need for control. His family also exposed him to violent media. He was allowed to watch violent shows like The Untouchables, and was taught to take pleasure in watching criminals get punished. He developed a fascination with power and law enforcement, which would become a very important factor in his criminal behaviors. Now, while there's no evidence that he had any major behavioral issues, there was certain signs that would reflect his future criminal behavior. He was known to torture animals, which is a sign of psychopathy. He engaged in voyeurism and was known to break into his neighbors' homes and steal items. So, but everything was overlooked, and he grew up, he got married, he had children. He seemed pretty normal. He was just a little weird to people. Now, going into his criminal history here. Oh, hang on. My dog's my Bart. They do that from time to time. I do apologize. Can't help it. That's just what doggies do. Okay, so you guys might know that he was caught in 2005 finally. And let me get to this part about how he was caught here. In February 2005, Rader was finally arrested and charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. During his trial, he confessed to the crimes and provided chilling details of his methods and motives. He's actually often interviewed when law enforcement is looking for a criminal. They go to him. He is kind of revered in the area of criminology. A very well-known author, Catherine Ramsey, wrote a book with him, and Catherine Ramsey taught Bryan Kohberger. When Bryan was arrested, he actually had something to say about that. He said, let me find it, bear with me, it's right here. He said that he knows how BK feels. I'm going to show you that real quick. So I hope that's showing up for you guys. Let me peek. Yes. Okay. Just want to make sure it was showing for you. So he came out and said that the BTK serial killer says he can relate to the loneliness that Bryan Kohberger is staring at behind bars, while confirming he never spoke with a criminology student who studied under his true crime co-author. Let's see. He said he knows that Bryan Kohberger must feel very lonely, and he said he had frequent meetings with his own public defenders, and he wanted to go through, quote, everything that prosecutors had on him, even though he had confessed. Now, his daughter, Carrie Rawson, has become super active. I'm going to show you her tweets, especially her last one, where they revealed they may have an ID on one of these girls. So I'm going to show you that. Again, trigger warning for the whole show tonight, you guys. Let me check chat real quick. Well, hello, Fofa Cat. How are you? Ramslin, what did I say? What did I say? I don't even know what I said. Hey, Chris Melcher. Welcome, welcome. Mrs. M, hello, hello. All right, let's see. Go back to my file here. All right, so which one should I start with? And you guys can have, this is the guy here. You guys are familiar with him. He's done a lot of taunting of police. He actually sent this to law enforcement shortly after he killed the entire Otero family way back in 1974. He sent this to law enforcement. Creepy. Trying to find some of his old stuff. Some of his here's one of his very early sketches. I want you guys to keep an eye on the eyebrows of these girls. It's awful. Just take a mental note of the eyebrows. We're going to get to the bad ones here in a moment. He sent letters to the media. This is some of them. I mean, back when our typewriters looked like this. So how can I make this a little bigger? Can I do it like... No, I don't like that one. Yeah, I think we're okay. Can you see it okay? Yes, he's very sick. Very sick. He had said back then that the 10 were the only ones, but now they're finding that's not true. Not sure what this is. We're going to find out, aren't we? Okay, this is one of the possible victims. I'll get to that in just a moment. And this is really interesting here. So I'm going to keep that up. Bear with me. I didn't want to lose it, so I went ahead and pulled it up. Okay, let's see. So as well as leaving a horrifying mark on society around his active time, 74 all the way up until he was finally caught in 2005, his crimes have also influenced several huge media projects. He inspired Stephen King's book, A Good Marriage, and Netflix's Mindhunter. They used a lot of reference to him in that show. So he remains one of the most chilling and perplexing in criminal history to this day. And here's how he was actually caught. In 2004, Rader had resurfaced by sending letters to the police and media. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here so I can show y'all my notes. How do I zoom? Okay. These are all my notes that I did before the live. So let's see. Where was I? Okay. Where did it go? I made it full screen and I can't find where I was. That's too funny. I don't want to get, it's not up there. There it is. Okay. So in 2004, Rader resurfaced by sending letters to the police and media, which included new drawings and trophies from his victims. I'm going to show you some of those. Those communications reignited public interest in the unsolved case, and law enforcement seized the opportunity to analyze the evidence using modern, at the time in 2004, techniques. One of the key breakthroughs came when investigators were able to extract DNA from a cereal box that Rader had sent to authorities. Do I have that photo or not? Let me look. I've seen it. I don't know if I saved that one. It's a crushed cereal box. I think it's in one of the articles. Yeah, it's in one of the articles. Okay. The DNA was a match to evidence collected from an earlier crime scene, and it directly linked Rader to the BTK murders. And where is the floppy stuff? Did I put the floppy stuff on here, or is it in an article? Let me see. No. Okay, it's in the article. Hang on just a second. Let me move this now. And I'm going to show you this map. Look at this, y'all. People have been group thinking and putting together all of this information. Look at all that. So in just a second, I'm going to take off some of these so we can just see his. It's really, really interesting. And you can see how close it is to me. It scared me when I saw it. I was like, what? Okay, so here's some of the, you guys, I'm telling you, you ain't ready. I don't know what you guys have seen, but this is pretty bad. Exactly, sweet misery. They catch them, don't they? Yep, cereal boxes and then pizza boxes with the Lisk. And who had Ziploc? Oh, Brian had Ziploc bags. Interesting. They had, well, no, a floppy disk, if you insert it on a computer and you save data to it or pull data off of it and it's connected to the internet, that was how they got him. They got the IP address of the computer at his church. And they went and talked to the church, and the pastor remembered this is the person who'd been here last on the computers. And that was the tip that led to him. Right? Woo. I know, it's kind of weird, isn't it? One of her last ones, she's angry. She's pretty angry. I'm going to show you her tweets in just a second. I want to keep in line with my notes here, or I'm going to get lost or forget something. All right, so let's go up to these photos that I have in here. And is it going to, it's not going to let me, dang it. That one got cut. I've got extra space here and it moved it down. Okay, so this is, and I'll pull up the other photo so you can see it better. This is the girl in green. So I will just put that here. I think it'll let me do that. Hold on. Okay, so Osage County investigators believe that the sketch could be linked to a missing woman last seen in southeast Kansas in 1991. They reopened the case. I'm going to show you that in just a second. They reopened the case based on these photos that they discovered. Do you see the railing in the back? Me and Sweet Misery were looking at these earlier, and what kind of fence does that look like? This is one of the photos that the police are needing our help with, this one specifically. They're saying that somebody out there has got to recognize these locations. I mean, I'm looking at it, and to me, it looks like fence posts, but also it might look like, does it kind of look like what are those fences called that you can pull these out or add them to make the fence shorter or taller? Do you know what I mean? I think it's got to have something to do with horses, is what I thought. Isn't that awful? And then there is this person. These are actual sketches by him. Farmgate, yep. Absolutely. That's where I made this girl, and when it saved, it cut it in half. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, I love Canva. Now this is the hang on. Oh, you know what? I still have it up somewhere. Don't I? Hold on. Nope, I don't. All right. This is the last tweet by his daughter, Carrie Rawson. And as of today, they have a working ID on her now. So look at that. She says it's a livestock pen and probably at night. This is the girl that went missing in 1991. Crazy. So I've been like looking through and seeing what missing people are around. There's this one from 1992 in the Village, Oklahoma. Because I kind of thought it might look like her a little bit. Yeah, that's what they're saying now, Farm Gate. Yeah, good eye, people, good eye. So this girl, what kind of, do you think this is the same situation with the fence? Oh, I hate seeing these. But they want people to look at these and let them know if you recognize either the victims or the locations. I'll show you the sketch of the barn and the silo that he keeps drawing. And Carrie said that he was obsessed with barns and silos. Yes, she is. She is. Yeah, she's working with them to see if she can backtrack and find the locations. She said that he would take her and her brother camping, but not their mother. And he would put them to bed, and then he would do weird stuff like this. This is him in this mask. Where'd he go? Did it open it somewhere else? Hang on. Hold on. I think it's opening it behind it, maybe. Where are you going, mask? Oh, yep, it did. My computer's not wanting to work for me. That's him in that mask. And that's as small as it'll go on my screen. Try it like this. See that mask? What a sicko. He did this while his children were sleeping, y'all. And there was also upside down as well. So while his babies were sleeping, he would get out and reenact things that he had done to other people. What police are now finding concerning about this and why they're asking for the public's help is it going to let me do it this way? Yeah. They feel that these are new people, new victims, because they didn't find certain victims in a certain way. I want to show you guys this really quick. Here's the other sketch that the police are asking for help on. This one. And this right here. Bear with me. I'm doing it a little different than I normally do it. I do have these up in Canva as well. I'm going to show you in just a moment. But I like how big it is here. So this, I think, was his favorite project. Yes, I said project. That is what he referred to them as. Yes, he had a timer of some kind. Yes. Yes, Kristen. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Harlot. It's nuts. Yes, insane. Very, very, very. Wood grain, This one is actually, she's on the floor. That's a bale of hay, When me and Sweet Misery were looking at this, does this look like plywood to you? And then I guess there's a wall here, another bale of hay, staircase, rope, and the top of a pole. Does that make sense, y'all? Exactly. Good eye. Good eye. Let me show you the Canva that I did with all of them together because it's pretty creepy. Very good eye. Go. Okay. Make sure that that's showing for you guys. Okay, yes. Yes. So Roger Kent is onto something here. When I was looking at this girl, and then you zoom in on just her face, do you notice that he completed the eyes? Oh, interesting. Okay. I have no idea. I have no idea. So, along with what Roger said, I was looking at these and I was going, this looks similar, the eyebrows, right? I mean, it looks like he copied. This is the mask that he wore in those other creepy photos that I just showed you. He would wear this mask and he put tape over the mouth. This is the same mask. And here, see, it's the same mask. And I think that that might mean that this was his favorite girl, right? This one. And the eyes being completed, he put more effort into this one. And then it looks to me like he, like copied it. Because doesn't that look just like her? I think he took photos of her, photos that we haven't seen. Because that is just, it's too similar, right? Same exact eyebrows. Same mouth. Like the mouth was, he painted that on. Just so sick. So I was looking at him like that. Let me see. Now here's another one that law enforcement wants us to look at. This is him reenacting a burial. And the problem with that is that they have not found any buried victims for him. Pulley system, okay. Yeah, I agree. Eyelashes a bit too, Oh, wow. Hi, Mikey. How are you doing? Yeah, absolutely. How many has it been reported of him? He's convicted for 10. He confessed and was convicted for 10. He's serving 175 years. He's in the El Reno. Where's it? El Paso. Let me look at my notes here. See what it says. Okay, that's an angle glaring down at a female lying in a barn loft space is what the police were saying. 10 official, but I think there's more. Hello, Unravel. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. And I know that it's really hard to watch this. I'm so sorry. What do you think? Yeah, I just showed that. It's right here. Sweet Misery True Crime has a really good channel. If you guys have not, yes, Dad still breathes. They think that she's from southeast Kansas. So that would be upper Kansas. Oh, that reminds me. Let me go to the map. But back to this first. Okay, so Carrie said that this photo would have happened while they were camping. Isn't that disgusting? Reenacting burying somebody. But they haven't found anybody. So Carrie has been working with law enforcement to try to go back. They found 1 month ago, they found, let me see where that is, if it's on this one. A month ago, they found new information. See if it'll play from here. I don't even know if it will. Come on. I don't really like using Canva for this stuff. I think, well, I wasn't done. Hang on. Oh, I closed my link. Hang on. You turkey. Okay. Download. Okay. It cut it off, so that's why it's not going to load. Watch. See? Okay. Well, I should have looked at the link. Hang on. Where'd it go? Shouldn't even be doing that. Okay, we'll do it this way. Alrighty. Sorry, I haven't used Canva for this purpose. I usually just use Notepad. So this was August 24th. They searched his home and they found stuff. Let me look here. Among materials of interest found at the property this week were more trophies from at least one woman in bondage materials in a hidey hole. And Osage County is just right. It's really close to me. So the search's primary focus was the 1976 disappearance of Cynthia Dawn Kinney, who was 16 when she was last seen in Oklahoma. He is the prime suspect in that and other unsolved crimes. I haven't clicked on this link for her. Let's see really quick if it shows a photo or something. Doesn't want to load. Okay. So here's a photo from the property. They intercepted his mail and determined that they needed to go back to his original property and pull this up. And it was underneath this concrete walkway that he had put in. Awful. Okay, so. All right. So now we go down to. Let me just move this off the screen. Hang on. Feels weird doing that. Responsible for. There was only one survivor, and that was Kevin, brother to one of the victims. And he described him as an average-sized guy, bushy mustache, and psychotic eyes. Bushy mustache, bushy eyebrows. Those two are kind of similar, huh? Good grief. Let's see. I think this whole file that I made, I'm going to, kind of fix it up and make it a little more neat. And then I'll upload it to the Facebook group for anybody who wants it. Because it's just basically a timeline of everything. Okay. And, because, I hate looking at that. Don't need that. So this one and this one are important, law enforcement said. Sounds like they have a pretty good working ID on the other girl. Let me check chat really quick. Yes. He was very embarrassed. He apologized to his daughter and said, "Oh, there's going to be some more coming out. I'm so sorry." Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yes. Did you guys hit the like button for me? They found him in his cell. Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm good. Very good, Unravel. How are you? Had a pretty lazy weekend. Guys, don't forget this Wednesday for Everybody Coburger. I do have a guest coming. It's an entire law firm that's going to be coming here to visit with us. And unfortunately, I can't say who yet. Go away. Go away. Okay. So if we take all this off and we just leave it. But anyway, on Wednesday, there's going to be a law firm coming to answer all of our questions. Everything Coburger. I think help. It's right here. Oh, this is ours. A law firm is coming this Wednesday. So please be sure, by the way, to just go hit notify me and bring your questions for the attorneys. It'll be great. I cannot wait for that live. So here is all of the potential victims. This is Kansas. And I'm trying to find me on here. Yummy chocolate. Nope, that's too far. Here's Osage County. Wish this would show the state line because we're really close. Okay, I am in this general area. That's about as close as I'm going to say online where I'm at. But I'm going to put this link in the chat. All you got to do is uncheck everything except BTK if you want to look into these because it's really interesting. Right, where's it at? Oh, here we go. Over here's the whole list of, look at that. Isn't that terrible? All these people who went missing in the 70s and 80s. Just these dots. And these are the ones that they say are all potential victims of him. They all fit the same kind of MO, description, and all that. And it's just crazy that I live in this area where a whole bunch of them happened. And there was a time, I believe it was 1979, where this dude on a motorcycle tried to snatch me. I think I was 7. So I might have been, I'm not really sure what the age of all these victims are, but I think back now and I'm like, holy cow. This guy, he was on a Harley and he tried to grab me. And I was just hitting and scratching and screaming, and he let go and I ran and jumped in a dumpster before he could come around the corner of the shopping center. And I stayed in that dumpster for I don't even know how long until I was sure that he was gone. And then I ran home crying. Yeah. Yes, I bet he loves hearing his daughter too. Terrible. So yeah, there's everybody's familiar with Branson, great place to go. And you can see how close we are to Kansas City as well. But all of these are potentially connected. He did work for ADT for 12 years, and I don't know what this is. Let me see what this is. Oh, okay. Is this Pennsylvania? Where's this at? Connecticut? I know I've heard of one. I know he traveled in the early 80s all the way up to Pennsylvania area. And there's a couple that they're looking at up there now because he was up there working for ADT. He mainly served this region, and that's why they think there's so many. He lived in Kansas City or Springtown, something like that. Let me look at my thing here. See if it says. He's in El Dorado Correctional Facility. Let me go up to his early life here. Pittsburgh, Kansas is where he is from. Okay, get rid of that. So there's all these. And let me look here and here. Okay, now is that the same one? Okay, now the next article is the one on law enforcement seeking help. I'm going to show you that one really quick. All links that I show during a live always end up down in the description afterward. So if you're here on Replay Crew, you can catch those. I had like the fastest internet. I don't know why it's going so slow. I think it's StreamYard because normally they're up in a flash, but when I'm live, they take a moment. Okay. A law enforcement team in northeast Oklahoma believes the prolific serial killer known as BTK may be responsible for several additional unsolved missing person and homicide cases. Now they're hoping the public can help them identify barns and silos in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri that BTK sketched in never-before-seen detailed drawings. So let's see, is this where, okay, yeah. This is the barn that he draws most often. I did save it as well. Let me find it here because I want to zoom in. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on. I double clicked on it. I don't know where it went. Well, I don't want to open it like that. It's opening it like this. Well, I guess that'll have to work. Okay, so I wanted it to open in photos. You know what I mean? So there's all these words, but this is the main kind of barn and silo that he draws most often. And that is why they feel that this is going to be connected to a victim. And I mean, we do have a whole bunch of these here too. Storage. I can't even read his writing. Like, it's crazy. Video, TV, something, chair, open. There's a bathroom, sink, wet bar, reading, mirror, TV, camera, elevator, guillotine. Speaking of guillotine, y'all. Really? Oh, it's over here. This is an actual photo This is one of his sketches, actually. Okay, so again, trigger warning. He drew that, y'all. And I'm going to show you the actual photo of it. It's pretty gross. Let me pull it up over here. He had it labeled, but this contraption was in his house. So I'm waiting for this to load here. Okay. All right, give that a moment to load on up, and I'll pull up the other one here. This is a photo he took of himself. This is another one that police say they're trying to find the location of. Ugh, so damn creepy. Like, that's the stuff of nightmares right there, right? And I wish my screen wasn't so big. I can actually see what I'm doing more. Okay, I'm going to show you one more. It's going to make you really, it's bad. I don't even know if I should show this one, but I'm going to show it briefly, okay? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I'm going to go through pretty quickly, okay? So here we go. All right, so there's that one. Let me see how, let me look at the live. Okay, so these aren't going to be up here for a moment. There's this drawing. He played with his initials, drew this contraption with a victim. God. I checked on y'all, see if you're okay. I'm so sorry. Minnesota, interesting. Yes, thank you, Mikey. Correct. They're bringing this up now because they found additional stuff in a hole where he lived and additional information that lead them to now believe that some of these sketches are going to have more information. I'm not zooming on that too much. That's a drawing of a victim. He had a name for this one, and I can't quite read it. I think it was Ginger Snap. This is a drawing that he drew of his very, very, very first victim. And this is another one. Some sort of it, they did not find this contraption, but it was a box where you could look in a hole. So he drew plans for it and everything. That's sick. There's another drawing that he made. This person, this victim has not been ever found. There's that other one. Okay.
I want to bring in Carrie Rawson right now. She's live to discuss these. Carrie, you've seen a lot more of these pictures than we have. You've seen a lot of pictures that the public has never seen. What haven't we seen? Can you describe for me what you've seen that we haven't?
Oh, good evening, Ashley. This is probably only about a handful of pictures. When I flew into Osage, they started showing me all of my dad's records. There's probably about 200 bondage photos that my dad's taken. It's really important first to note that they're taken by my father. They're Polaroids. He uses a cord. He came up with a system. He carried this stuff around. He did these at hotels. He did these in churches that he broke into. He did them in our church. He did them in my home when we were gone. He actually did one in my college dorm room when I was out shopping with my mom in August of '98. You can match what he's doing with his journals. He's digging. So what the public is not seeing is evidence right now in these cases, because he's reenacting actual crime scenes, and we're trying to match up now missing persons and murdered with possibly these photos. And he's wearing victims' clothing in some of these, and you can match him with timeline. And so we're seeing, like in Garber's case, she, we believe, was murdered or at least dumped on Halloween in 1990. A few days later, he goes and does a big bondage in a church in West Wichita. And we believe, based on his bondage choices in that photo, that it's a series too, where he's reenacting several things that happened to a victim, and he's wearing bindings that match Garber, and then there's a blanket that's missing from Garber, and we think it was under Dad on that bondage, and he literally had that blanket in our house, and then he took it camping, and he literally covered me with that blanket when I was cold.
It's hard to even believe that you're having to relive this, and I think public should know that they should be thankful that you're doing this with law enforcement to help them and inform them of what you know and give the information that you know. Let me go through some of the photos specifically. I want to start with the first one. I'll ask our control room if they can just put up the photo that's called the sand photo, because I want to ask you about what you know regarding the location of this photo.
Well, first, I know that shovel, that was our camping shovel that we used like for fires. I believe that's out at Lake Cheney. He would take us camping on a sandbar. He didn't like to camp around people, and I didn't understand why, because as a little girl, you know, you want the public restroom and stuff. My mom didn't ever camp, so it was me and my older brother, and we would go to bed, and he would do this bondage, and that's a sandbar out at Cheney, I'm sure. Now, one of the questions about that one is we don't have any confirmed cases of my father burying anybody. Why is he reenacting a burial? It's very concerning because we have some women that we think have been buried. Project Prairie, Hayes, 1983, we're looking at her as a burial. He talks about burials with Dr. Ramslin. He even talks about digging a grave in 1990 when he was out in Hayes on the census. Yet he says that he dug a whole grave, but then he had to call my mom, like, to check in. Like, come on, like, you dig a grave and then you don't put somebody in there. So we have to go figure all of these things out now.
The second photo is a photo of a wrapped body, and I think that you have mentioned before that.
Did you have a question, Fix Logic? Did you have a question? Do I need to go back? She's saying she's trying to find the locations, and she kind of recognized one of them there. Now this one, she says, is her dad wrapped up in that. And I wish I could get this full screen. I just did a screen recording of it, and it's not letting me get any closer. So she said that she thinks that her dad is wrapped up here in this photo that he took. However, that don't look like his other ones. Hello, Asane, and anybody else coming in. Thank you for being here. Trigger warning is up big time for this. I probably should put this up. Trigger warning. Aloha. So I'm going to continue playing this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, even the head is like bound up. So we'll see what she says. She's not sure, but she thought it was her dad.
It was taken in a church. Is that true?
Yeah, but that's actually Dad there. Now, somebody can fact check me and I'll reconfirm it, but that is actually Dad. That could be Mrs. Hedge, but I believe that is Dad actually pretending to be Mrs. Hedge. He took Mrs. Hedge, our neighbor, down the street. He murdered her in our house, between my house and my mom's parents' house in 85. I was 6. He then took her in her car to our church at CrimeSleuthin. He put her in a side room where my mom's choir robes were. He dressed her up in other bondage and took photos. They look different than that. As far as I know, my investigators have said that's my father at another church pretending. Again, we don't have any bodies that were found exactly like that. So is there one that we're missing that looks like that? Because we can actually go and look at crime scenes. We do have a recovered body.
So again, she's saying that she doesn't know for sure. Her investigators have told her that it's her dad. I don't think so. Do you? Hello, welcome, Ellie. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning for these photos. Sorry, you guys. They have to be seen, you know. Okay.
And we can match them. And we've got massive multiple concerns. And this is a very, very ongoing, very hot developing situation.
All right. The third photo is the photo of your father suspending himself, hanging himself from a tree. And I was wondering if you knew of the details in this picture that stood out.
Well, we're concerned about this one because, again, of HIPFID cases, we don't have any in trees, but we do have some young children that were found in trees, and that is a victim's clothing.
Good grief. Okay, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Okay, OCD Shaggy had this comment. How could he do this by himself? We did have Polaroid cameras back in the day that had timers on them. However, I agree. I don't see how he could have done it that fast because most of the timers that I ever remember seeing were 10, 15-second timers. You push the button and you only had 10 to 15 seconds to, go get in the family photo, for example. You barely had time to run over there. I remember, an adult, hitting the button and running to jump in the family photo, that kind of thing. But it wasn't very long. It was like 10 seconds. So how did he do this? How did he get in? And she's going to show the other photo too, but it doesn't seem like it would have been long enough. I wasn't muted when I sent you the hug, though, was I? I'm sorry. It kind of makes me wonder if, and I'm just purely speculating, you guys. I don't know. I haven't talked to Carrie. I did send her my well wishes and stuff in a DM on Twitter, and she responded. It was very, very nice. But I wouldn't, want to interview her or anything like that. But I did want to tell her that I thought she was being brave and strong and could help provide closure to some families if they could find them. So I did want to send her that. But I have a speculation that perhaps he had one of the children, her or her brother, take these photos and they blocked out the memory. Do you know what I mean? Welcome. Welcome again, Ellie. Do you think that that's possible, that he had one of the children do that? You guys are so sweet for telling me I was muted. Thank you so much. Oh, my chat. There we go. Get inlet wrapped. Okay. Yes. You guys can hear me now, though, right? I'm just catching up on chat here. I know, right? Legendary. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Do you think his wife did? He didn't tell her. He didn't tell the children. He did. I think he has had conversations. Yeah, anything is possible. Yeah. Tell me more. What are you thinking? Oh yeah, I hadn't even turned on my Nightbot. I'm not going to turn on the main one. I have to do one of these to turn it on. So thank you very much for reminding me on that too. Okay, I'm going to play the rest of this real quick.
I would have to have my notes in front of me, or we would need to pull an investigator. And of course, these are active investigations. But if we know exactly that that slip is missing from somebody, or that person is missing and they had that slip, or we have a crime scene that looks like that, see that mask on him? He used that mask up until 91. Then he left it on Davis's body because he didn't like how she looked when he decayed. And so that mask, so we know that is pre-91, and that's actually fall of 90, right around the time of Barber. That mask comes into play there. And he talks about, with Ramsland's book, he talks about hanging himself in a tree with the sumac, and you see the fall colors, and that's out in eastern Kansas.
Okay, so that's all of that interview that I had clipped. I'm going to put the whole one. It's a 10-minute interview, and I'll put it down in the description after this. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. No, I'm not going to play that part. So this is that mask that she was just referring to. He left it on a victim. So she believes that this photo was taken in late fall of 91. Or did she say 90? I don't remember. There's the other photo. There's that same mask that I showed you guys. That one. This is the girl that they're working really hard to identify. This poor, sweet girl. This just breaks my heart. And I mean, he, for lack of a better term, he did a really good job on, the eyes, right? Surely somebody would recognize this child. Yes, Mean Nightbot was funny. Mean Nightbot was timing people out. Yes, absolutely. 89 to 91, he was still active then. Yeah, he was active from 74 to 94. 20-year span. And then he wasn't caught until 2005. Yes, very realistic. Yes, OCD. Absolutely. Nightbot is my man. Okay. And this is the full size. You notice he didn't fill in anything on this, like complete it. It's all just kind of a rough sketch until you get to the eyes. The eyes are what he finished. And I used Canva to zoom in so I could get really good on that one. This is another missing person from Springfield that I found. Let's see. Where'd the year on this go again? I'm sorry. Missing in 1992. From right in that area. So I wonder, tell me if she doesn't kind of look like this one. What do you think? Does she kind of look like this sketch? Nightbot is just misunderstood. So yeah, I wonder about that. Let's see. There's the little girl. This is the mask. They found that on a victim in 1991. He left it on her. But previous to that, he had been using it on other victims and then posing in these creepy photos with the mask on. Ugh, awful. And that's the creep right there. And again, this is Carrie Rawson's last tweet. Thank you very much to Sweet Misery for sending this to me. They have a working ID on this barn girl with the green top. 1991, livestock pen, and probably at night. So they may have this one ID'd. They're still working on this girl. The police are asking for anybody who might be able to recognize this wall, I suppose. The boards. I mean, I don't know how somebody could know for sure. But anybody with information should come forward. Let me pull up the red dress girl again. So this one. And the sketch. These two, they're still working on figuring out who they are. And they kind of think that it's a barn or silo because he was obsessed with barns and silos. Okay, that one. All right. Let me go back to my links here one moment. Here was a little more on, well, I just had that one up. Never mind. Hang on. Here is the information on how the floppy caught him. This, for anybody who has missed it, is the most common barn and silo that he would draw. And that's why people think that they're going to find something in a location like that somewhere in northeast Oklahoma, Kansas, or even possibly Missouri. And I love how technology always catches these people. This article, by the way, was from the day after he was arrested. And it says, they used information on the computer disk in BTK's final mailing on February 16th to trace it back to a computer at CrimeSleuthin Church, where Mr. Clark is the pastor. Mr. Rader, the president of the church council, had used the church's computer a few weeks earlier to print the agenda for a council meeting he was to preside over. Said he remembered showing him how to use the computer and the printer. And he said, what the investigators found, from what I understand, running that disk through scanning and processing, was that that disk had to have been in our computer. So it goes on to talk about his arraignment and all the old stuff that he'd gone through there. And forgive my crude notes on Notepad here, but right here, this is just like notes that I use for my lives. Said right here, Carrie said, my father absolutely loves barns and silos. Every time we drove around, going camping, fishing to college, he'd absolutely say, this one. Like he said, I want to retire here. And he would tease my mom about it. And then after he was arrested, we found out later that he had massive fantasies about those specific locations. So now we're driving around trying to find those by my memory and noting them because we need to go see, is there anybody missing or buried there? So that is one of the latest things that Carrie said about her SK father. It's crazy. Doesn't really matter what I say on this live or show because it's not monetized anything anyway. That's the only thing that really is affected anyway if you say the no words on a live is if it's monetized. That's all. I'm not worried about it anyway. So let's see. And somebody had earlier said that Rader likes to play games. There's a quote by the sheriff that said Rader is known for playing games, sending clues about his murders to law enforcement in the years before and since he was finally caught and arrested. And this is a new quote by the sheriff. He says, "We're hoping that releasing these, someone might recognize one of these barns or the unique feature in them." I'll go back to the barn photo here. Or the closeness of the silo to the barn. Or possibly might have even found items that they didn't know were there that could be important in this case. Even if the barn's not there anymore, we would still like the information. Now, I think somebody could have photos, like in an old-fashioned photo album, that could prove useful, right? Somebody has photos of their property that would show a building like this with a barn with a little connecting room there, which when I was speaking earlier with Sweet Misery, you know how we were talking about a tack room? Remember we were talking about that? This could be a little tack room between the barn and the silo, maybe, because that's where they think that a couple of these sketches originated from was a tack room. Do you think that that's a possibility, that that's a tack room? I don't know. And this is kind of, let me go back. Let me check on chat here. Yeah, words are drawing. Yeah, I can't really make out what it says, but it says gallows, bench, chair, pole, something, sandbox, pool, water tank, barbecue, guillotine, elevator, TV camera, mirror, airtight tank, rugged room box, maybe. Box. Does it say high chair? Sink? I mean, was he wanting to build this? This is so weird. I don't know, Ellie. Elevator, maybe clue, right? I know those are not super common in silos. Normally they just use the top and dump the, the grain or whatever in the top. I haven't personally seen any that have elevators. I agree, Mikey. Yep. I don't know much about barns either. I know I see them all the time. Okay. Hello, welcome. Welcome, KNX Girl, or Knox Girl, I think. She says, I grew up from 10 to 22 in that exact area of Oklahoma. Was my late teens, 92 to 94. I think there might be a part 2 to that coming. That's where I live now. And it's creepy. Yeah. Yeah, he had some big fantasies around this. Maybe he, intended to pick up. I do too. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. Is there part 1 to this one? Then took the, hang on, I'm going to go up here. That sounds like a part 2. Okay. Oh, yes, yes. That is... There's actually a photo of that. I'm not going to show it, of the victim in that case. Yeah, that was awful. I didn't save it in this folder, but he did what they think... Oh, it's over here. Was a related sketch to that one, I think, if I remember correctly. Let's see if I find it. I want to find the actual photo of this to show you guys, and I think it's on that page. Where did it go? I found... Okay, let me see if this link is working again. No, that's not what I want. Oh, here it is. Okay. So he was church council president and a Cub Scout leader. That's creepy. Hold on, I'm waiting for photos to load. No, I don't want that one. Bear with me. Nope, nope, I don't want that video to play. Okay. This one I will put in the chat too because it's really long. This is not the one with the photos, though. I keep looking. His first victim was in 1974. He killed the entire Otteros family in Wichita. Okay. He named himself the BTK killer. I'm sure you guys already know that. Only one victim survived. Oh, Bright was the last name. Kevin Bright escaped. He thought he knocked him out, but he didn't. Or he did knock him out, but he escaped. And he almost saved his sister's life. This is a creepy one because, y'all, we had ADT growing up. In 1974, the same year that he killed the Otteros family and Catherine Bright, he started working for the home security company ADT. During his 14 years of employment, he installed alarm systems in houses all over Wichita, often speaking with worried families seeking increased protection from the BTK killer. How freaking ironic is that? His next victims, he locked her 4, 5, and 8-year-old children in a bathroom before he killed her. He sent the media letters and poems. And then Nancy Fox was his next victim. This is the one. I'm not going to click on this because it's got obscene photos. This talks about those photos that he took of himself. And I thought this one has the cereal box. He mailed it to a newsroom or left it outside a newsroom, if I remember correctly. And they didn't think much of it. They threw it away. And then he sent a letter to law enforcement complaining that the news had thrown it away. So then they went and found it. And it should be on this page. Bear with me. Hope it's on this page because I just found it earlier. Nope. Well, this is the one that was supposed to talk about. Oh, well. It's just a crushed cereal box, and he had written BTK on it. No, yeah, in 2004 was when they approached Carrie Rawson, and asked for her DNA, and her DNA matched close enough to be the daughter of the killer. That's how they confirmed. He had already picked out his next victim when he was arrested. They got him just in time, y'all. I already told you about this one from my notes. It was called, the book was called A Good Marriage. My mom had that book. Rader's daughter has called him a psychopath and has been harassed by his supporters. So I thought that was all kind of interesting. White Claw. Why am I getting mad for White Claw? I don't like White Claw. Okay, let's see here. Bear with me, I think we've gone through all the photos now, haven't we? Just want to make sure I've gotten through all my notes here really quick. Through that way. Let me see if this one's going to load. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. The New York Times is real bad about locking you out. Okay. So this is a New York Times article. Police in Oklahoma believe Dennis Rader is responsible for the disappearance of 2 young women, one in Oklahoma and one in Missouri. And this was from the 26th. So Sheriff Verdon said that Mr. Rader told him there was one fantasy he never managed to pull off, kidnapping a girl from a laundromat. However, officials now believe that that was not true. Last week, Mr. Rader was named the primary suspect in 2 unsolved cases. This is Cynthia Kinney, a 16-year-old girl who worked at a laundromat and disappeared in 1976 from Pawhuska, Oklahoma. I love Pawhuska. It is a beautiful area in Osage County. And Shauna Beth Garber, a 22-year-old woman whose body was discovered in 1990 in Lanigan, Missouri. So they think they're linking him to those as well. This was his very first victims here. They reopened the cold case of Miss Kinney. And I believe they said that one of the sketches may be her crime scene, or one of the photos that he took may be a depiction of the crime scene. And so they've gone back and they're reinvestigating as if it's brand new. I'm going to show you Carrie's tweets in just a moment, or posts as they're called now. Again, this is them digging up his old property, and this is where they found a hole somewhere in here with trophies from victims. Let's see. It was Polaroids that Mr. Rader left in one of his journals that helped solidify the connection. These pictures contained items that likely belonged to Miss Garber, including a red blanket that matched one that was reported missing when Miss Garber disappeared. Okay, and there is the hidey hole that contained personal effects that we consider evidentiary in value and worthy of further testing. One of the items was a pantyhose tied in a knot that was consistent with Mr. Rader's use of binding wrists and ankles. I wish I could find that photo, even though it's graphic. I really thought that I saved it somewhere. Just a second. It may be over here in another folder. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, there it is. Hold on. I'm going to crop it down here real quick. Okay. All right. So this is the actual contraption that's in those sketches that I showed. Isn't that awful? That's what he actually used. This is in a museum that somebody actually has somehow gotten their hands on these objects, and they're in some sort of museum place. Let me see if I can see the URL again for this. Hold on. Keeps pulling up over here. I don't like that. It is. No, it doesn't say which museum, but where is it? I saved it. Here it is. So they have that too. Too early for DNA. Yes. Yes. I think they're going to probably go back and get it again. You would think, right? Because it's under glass and everything. Yep, I'm having the same problem. Hi, Ellen. How you doing? Yep, 20 years. 20 years. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, people always say, oh, I wish we could go back to the good old days where everybody was safe and your children could play outside. And, you know, yeah, we played outside until the streetlights came on. Our parents never knew where we were. And you know what? We were real lucky we weren't grabbed up by one of these weirdos, you know. I was in this area at the time that all this was happening, but I believe I was too young for this freak. He was going after young women. I was just a little girl. I know, right? I'm glad you're doing good, Ellen. It's good to see you. That creepy mask. Absolutely. 30 years, guys. Took 30 years to catch him. I wonder, oh, was it in? Oh, okay. That's where the shed was, and they found the pantyhose in his backyard. Oh, the article did not say that, Mikey. Thank you. Mikey, dude, do you want to come up? Would you like to come up here and talk? I know that, who was it? Somebody else, the Wandering Orphan. She had also said that she wanted to come up, but I don't know if she's made it. But Mikey, if you would like to come up and talk about this, you sound like you have been following this for a long, long time. If you would like to come up, let me know. He's like, LOL, no, I'm okay. Are you too shy? Believe me, I'm super shy, and I don't know how I do it. I do. My camera's not on. as long as my camera's not on, so I don't force people. Like, some people will say, well, you guys turn your camera on for a minute backstage, you know? I'm not going to do that to anybody. I don't need to see you. You want to look like you just rolled out of bed? Right? Okay. Yeah, Richie, how are you feeling? That reminds me, I am going to, let's go to Twitter. It should be pretty close here. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. If not, we'll go find her. What the heck? Okay. I have some weird stuff in my feed, I know. But I have some cute stuff too. Well, she's been posting like all day long. Another day in Brazil. Aw, how cute. What? Oh. You guys, look at that. I'm ready for winter. What the heck? See, I have the best feed. I try not to follow stuff that's too, like, sad or whatever. Here she is. Okay. I didn't understand what you just said, Mikey, up there. My name creators posted the interviews with her. Okay. You just chillin'. Okay. I know I love winter. I love winter in August and September. I don't love winter in February. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, so this is BTK's daughter. She has been going very, very, very crazy with just, I mean, she is really in this. Let's see. She says we need to gather more information on this young woman in this barn or cattle/horse/rodeo type pen. And you know what, Sweet Misery? Isn't that what we said? Horse pen? That we thought this was possibly. So she put this up. Can I zoom? I don't think I can zoom. It says this is believed to be one of BTK's victims in Osage County, Oklahoma. So northeast Oklahoma. Her name has not been made public in connection with Rader at this time. Investigators know from things Dennis said on this exact photograph that it was a drawing he created from an actual barn. If you have information regarding this identity or anybody really, call the Osage County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office. It's 918-287-3131. Okay. What? Somebody used AI on the barn girl. Why? What? Oh, so that's supposed to be her if her hair was down. Oh my goodness. see. Here's the other one. This one could be anywhere from 1963 all the way to 2005, but it's either Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, or Arkansas. I'm going to retweet this one as well. And same phone number. I've already showed you this, but do come and follow her. Oh, look at this. Oh my word, look what they did. I'm going to retweet this and I'm going to save it so I can pull it up closer for you guys. Wow. So that's what she may look like with her hair down. Oh my word. Golly. Looks very similar to the other girl, huh? Hey, Delana, welcome. How you doing? That's a good question for you, Mikey. I think her hair was really, really blonde. Probably not darker like this. Or he would have sketched it darker, right? Like the color of wood. The color of the top of the post, it's lighter than that, so I'm going to go with this one. Unless he really didn't care about the hair, but golly, that's some good work, whoever did on that. Okay. Somebody did this. I'm just reposting all her stuff, aren't I? It's so weird to say repost instead of retweet. Yeah, here's one of the possible victims. Oh, it looks like they enhanced the photo. Wow. She disappeared shortly after speaking with an unidentified male in a dark-colored pickup with a shell. How did they make it look that good? I'll give them some of my high school photos to fix. God, that's just awful. There's the red dress one. This is the one they're looking for too. That would be a barn that had wood slats, possibly a rounded post, but in that area of the barn would have possibly a wooden floor. And a lot of times in tack rooms, inside barns, or in feed rooms or storage, they wouldn't have a dirt floor because they didn't have livestock in that. And where do I still have? Of course I don't. Nope, I don't have it up. I was going to show the barn again, but I don't know where it went. Okay. Maybe she has it somewhere on here because she's asking about barns a lot. Don't see it on here. Oh, to get off the post. Somehow I got off of hers. Good grief. All right, so let me go to her media real quick. See if there's any barn photos in here. Not seeing any so far. Around is Yeah, that's a big area, isn't it? $1963. I think the last active one that they absolutely know about was 94. One of his actual victims. Well, that wouldn't be under her feet. I mean, to me, that looks like glass or something, but they say that she was laying on the floor. So why would there be glass? Excuse me. Why would there be glass down here? I don't get it. All I know is this one haunts me, especially her eyes. It's just awful. But so, like, if you are looking for any of this information, just come over to my Twitter. Same name as on YouTube. And everything should be retweeted there for you with her name and all that. Oh, it was over here. I lost it. Okay. So I think that is it. Let me make sure at the bottom of my notes here. Oh, here's just something a little interesting that I found. If you want to buy his letters, you can. Somebody who received a letter from him actually has one of them listed for sale. And I think that's just so gross. Look at this. It's actually a letter from him for $350. Isn't that disgusting? Would you ever buy something like that? I thought I had one more. But yeah, this website, serialkillersinc.net, you can literally look up convicted killers and buy memorabilia. Good Lord. Even, look at that one. Look at that. I'm not clicking on any of those. This one was popular. Ugh, no way. Good grief. Yeah, you can actually, I saw this on Google. Signed and the letters included and everything, $350. What can we get for 50 or under? I don't recognize any of these names. Artwork. Oh, that's John Wayne Gacy. So these people are in prison. And what? Are they mailing these to people? Are they creating these in prison and mailing them out? I have no idea who James Riva is. Do you guys? Wow. John Wayne Gacy's art is really high, isn't it? Look at that. $9,000 for that. No, thank you. $87.50. No. No. Alrighty, guys. Yes, totally. That's totally gross. Pen pals, yep. I guess people write with these people. I mean, every one of them seemed to have a whole bunch of, groupies and fans and all that. It's terrible. No, exactly, Ellie. Why would you want that in your home? Thank you, Delana. No way I would ever want that stuff in my home. Hey, V-Slams. Welcome. Thank you for being here for a little bit. I'm about to wrap it up. So if you did just come in, you can go back to the start if you would like. I am going to go, I don't know, watch some documentary and go to bed. Do you guys got any fun plans for tomorrow? We're just having a little bit of a cookout. We'll burn some burgers and burn some hot dogs, and that's about it, I think. Not really sure. Sometimes we don't make plans until day of. So thank you guys for being here. I'm going to get off, and you guys have a lovely rest of your evening. I'm going to head over to Lost. Actually, that's what I'm going to do before I get off here. I'm going to go over to my usual late night haunt, which is Lost Souls TC and chat. So if you guys want to come hang out with me over there, you can. It's my usual late night. And I think I was telling Peyton about it on the phone earlier. So Austin and Peyton, I think I will probably see you guys for sure. But yes, come over and I'll get the link really quick. Let me see. I don't even know if she's live, so I'm not going to link it because I don't know if she's live. But I will see you guys later. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to play my quick outro and I'll be gone. Thanks for being here. Love you guys.
Hey y'all. How y'all doing today? Oh, y'all.